I didn't know how to charge for it. Right? I'd go to companies and I'd give them advice, but it was like, I kept giving it away for nothing. I didn't know how to package it, so they would actually pay me for it. And sometimes it's like selling a painting, right? If you got a Van Gogh that's worth millions of dollars, and you go down to the pub, in the corner pub in Southport, you're not going to get much for it in the pub. That's what I was trying to do. I was selling to the wrong people. I didn't package it up. I didn't explain, the benefits of what I was doing. So later on, I bought some other products, and I started to sell products through mail order, and you can see each one of those boxes was about $2,000 I sold them for in those days, was worth $1,500. And I built a whole mail order business that made me millions of dollars. Like since 1995, I hadn't sold less than $1 million worth of products working from home and also consulting. I stopped consulting about 1995. And when I stopped consulting, I actually was charging companies, by that time, $3,000 for a 1-hour marketing service. Right? I'd come in for an hour, look at their marketing, give them advice, and say, $3,000, thank you very much. And yet, you know what? That was too cheap. I've had clients who've taken that 1 hour and made literally millions of dollars from that advice. And that's why in the last 5 years we've repackaged everything that I used to do with clients and in my own business, and we've turned it into a system and a method where we go to businesses and we charge them a lot more money, but not up front. We actually take a percentage of the business increase that we bring. So it's like we become equity partners in the business, based on the results that we bring to that business with our strategies. So we no longer undervalue what we sell, right? We don't have to get many clients. We don't have to get a few clients, and we can make a lot of money. But this was me, basically. That's where I was. In 1989, I was living in a room. Still in Sydney, right? 1 bedroom. Again, it was a shared room that I had with 2 Japanese students. I was 16 kilos heavier. That was the car that I, did that thing in. And basically, that was my life. Now, about 10 years later, that's where I was living, up in Robina there, and we've sold that house now. I'll tell you a bit about the ad that I used to sell it with, and this is the place where we work from now, which is up at Talai, and that's where I run my office from as well. So, it is possible, to make that change, and I'm not particularly bright, but I know when something works, and I went and I did it. Right? And I've had people that have learned the same information, they got the same materials, but they didn't do it. And they're still where they are, today. Now, people ask me, why do you keep working? If you made all this money, why are you still there doing seminars? Why am I here on a Wednesday night, talking to a bunch of people? And I tell you, there is 3 wealth reducers in Australia. One of them is taxes, right? Second one, unfortunately, is divorce. And I'm actually on to my 3rd marriage now, just like my 3rd business. And when I had my 2nd breakup with my ex-wife, it actually cost me 70% of my wealth. All I kept was the business. That was about 4 years ago. And I've got to share a bit of a story about that, because how it happened. Because my ex-wife, she was a great spender, by the way. I've got to tell you, she loved spending money. I don't know if you ever had a partner like that, but it's like her favorite book was my checkbook, Every time she picked one up, she wouldn't put it down until she finished it, So, in fact, once we were overseas, we used to travel a lot. She was from Canada. We used to go to Canada all the time, and once while we were traveling, somebody took her wallet. And it was like 2 months later, and she's like, well, listen, when are you going to report the wallet stolen? I got all my credit cards in there, and like, aren't you worried? I said, well, not really, because the guy that stole it is spending less than you are, So it was that sort of thing. And in the end, what actually ended up, the reason for the divorce, I think, was that I actually forgot a birthday. I'll tell you what's bad news when you forget your wife's birthday, right? We had a few other problems, but it was like she's walking around the house and it's like, I've done something wrong. What's wrong, darling? Nothing. Oh, what's wrong? Nothing. So there's something wrong, guys, right? When it's nothing. Anyway, I thought, oh, Jesus, I forgot a birthday. I said, listen, I'll get you anything you want. I'll make it up to you. What do you want? Anything you want. She said, all right, then, I want a divorce. And I thought, Jesus Christ, I didn't want to spend that much. So that was a bit of a worry. So, we split the house. I got the outside, and today she's actually living with my gardener. The guy that was doing the garden at my place up at Majiraba where we live, she's now living with him. And I really miss him because he's a great gardener, We can never find another one to replace him. So anyway, it's a bit of a story. It's actually a true story, but with the gardener, but she didn't really run off with him or anything. It just ended up like that. So today, I've got a new family. I've just had a baby boy, and I've got 7 children that I'm supporting. I've got an ex-wife and 4 or 5 children. One that Lisa and I've had together. She's got 2 girls, and if you've got a lot of kids, then you got to keep going. So that's why I'm still here. Anyway, I'll give you a bit of history on BBR and what we do. What I'm talking to you about today is not theory. It's not some fancy concept I've dreamt up yesterday. It's actually based on over 2,365 businesses have used this business. Now, that's when I was working with them. We've had tens of thousands of people use this since I've had my distributors out there, selling my materials and my advice. But that's just the people that I've worked with. Over 10.5 million in research has been spent. Once again, it's probably more than that. But when I was doing it, I would spend my own money to market and find out what works and what doesn't work. See, in business, you learn from your mistakes. Isn't that true? Like you do something, it doesn't work, and hopefully you don't repeat that. You do something that does work, and you keep repeating that. That's if, you're smart and you do it scientifically. Some people just keep doing stuff hodgepodge all over the place, and they don't know what's working, right? They say half the money in advertising is wasted, you just don't know which half. So we actually have analyzed it scientifically, and we have done research of, what works, what methods work, what's the best way to build a business and make money. And it's based on documented facts, not on theory. Just to give you an example, here's a little test. These are 2 yellow page ads that appeared in the Gold Coast Yellow Pages. Now, they cost about $6,000 to $7,000 each. Pretty expensive advertising in the yellow. Anybody got an ad in the Yellow Pages? Yeah. How much is that worth? Yeah. How much is that sort of ad worth, That's like a quarter page, that quarter page, yeah.
Probably at least
4 or 5 grand. I thought it was about 5 grand. Anyway, 6 grand. So you're spending 4 or 5 grand on the Yellow Pages. Now, which ad do you think you would want to have? The ad on the left, VIP ChemDry, or the ad on the homeowners? Who goes for the VIP ChemDry? Hands up. Okay. 1. Who goes for the homeowners? Okay. Who's not putting their hand up no matter what I say? All right, thanks. Now, you guys already know a little bit about marketing because a lot of people pick the homeowners. Mostly it's people pick the ad on the left. The results were that the ad on the homeowners ad had 11 jobs. The other ad had 2 calls within a 2-week period after the Yellow Pages came out. All right, so 11 jobs, 2 calls. Now, funny thing is that ad, I did it about 10 years ago. About 2 years ago, I had a letter from one of the people that actually now sell my programs and do the coaching that I've trained them to do. And they used the same ad, pretty much just changed a few details, with a carpet cleaner somewhere up in Townsville. And they got this huge testimonial. The client was delighted. He said, I've just increased my Yellow Pages business by 500% by using that ad. Now, can you imagine if you go to a client and you can show them how to get 5 times the response from just one Yellow Page ad, right? What a difference that makes to their bottom line, and also how much they'd be willing to pay you. Not a lot of work in that. The ad is already there. The tool is already there. And that's what we do. That's what we do in our business. We go to a company, we show them how to improve some aspect of their business or their marketing or their process that they go to the marketplace with, and we take a percentage of the increase. So that was just one example. Here's another one. $480 spent on a BBI campaign made $45,000 within 3 weeks. You can read it over there. Spending $480 on marketing. Oxygen had a 63 appointments booked with small business owners. Previous results was only 1.5 response. $45,000 in revenue generated in 8 days with a potential to make up to $200,000 from one campaign. This represents a 9,375% return on their investment. Now, you can't get that in the bank. And it was simply one concept, which is the mock check concept, which is basically sending out like a check with your letter saying, you can use this check toward a free service or whatever. They also had used a telephone script that we did for them, and their appointment rate went from basically 2 out of 3 or from 1 out of 5 to 2 out of 3, a 300% increase. All it was just a bit of a piece of paper by the phone and telling their staff what to say when the phone rang. Right, very simple. That's the sort of stuff we do when we go to see a business, and that's what we get paid for. So let's talk about how the rich really make their money, because if you want to make money, it makes sense to study the people that are rich. So what do the seriously rich have in common? What do you think they have in common? What's that? 2 legs, 2 arms, yeah? Or what do they... Lots of money, yeah? That's one thing they all have. Passion. But I'll tell you what, 199 out of 200 people on the rich list have a business. So first thing that Richard